Okay, we're back with part 3 of our conversation about Robert Frost's Death of a Hired Man. Warren leaned out, took a step or two, picked up a little stick, so Warren and Mary are still outside, brought it back, broke it in his hand, and tossed it by. Maybe it's a symbolism, a broken arrow, but he's not giving up here. Silas had better claim on us, you think, than on his brother? 13 little miles as the road winds would bring him to his door. Silas has walked that far, no doubt, today. People used to walk 10, 12 miles to get somewhere. I love it. Why doesn't he go there? His brother's rich, a somebody, director in a bank. So Warren's kind of taking this other angle. Okay, why doesn't he go to his brother's place? He never told us that. So Mary never says that Silas never told him that. We know it, though. I think his brother ought to help, of course. Now, this is Mary. His brother ought to help, of course. Help, as in, I think, pay for the funeral. I'll see to that if there is need. He ought of right to take him in, and might be willing to. He may be better than appearances, but have some pity on Silas. Do you think if he had any pride in claiming kin or anything he looked for from his brother, he'd keep so still about him all this time? So the brother clearly went to college, works in a bank, and, I wonder what's between them, Mary says. I can tell you, Silas is what he is. We wouldn't mind him, but just the kind that kinsfolk can't abide. He never did a thing so very bad. He don't know why he isn't quite as good as anybody. Worthless though he is, he won't be ashamed to please his brother. Okay, so, Silas has chosen them as his place to come, as he's this very broken down, about to die person. And the brother, I'm sure the brother looks at the highfalutin brother, looks at Silas and says, oh, he's probably embarrassed by him. And Silas might be a little sort of like, a little envious, right? I think part of his concern for Harold Wilson, his saying, why would you study Latin, is a little bit of, jealousy as well. But anyway, so Mary, this is her final move in this argument. She really slams Silas. Not because she means it or wants to. She's trying to get Warren to take up Silas's case, and it worked. Side note, Robert Frost married his high school sweetheart. Robert Frost married his high school co-valedictorian. I love that. They were the number one people in their high school class. He married someone just as smart as he was. And they got along sometimes, like this poem, these husband and wife. It's a very sweet poem about a husband and a wife. Very sweet, right? This woman is wonderful. And at other times they fought like crazy, and there are poems where husbands and wives don't get along quite this well. So very interesting dynamic between a husband and wife here, who are really treating each other, listening to each other quite nicely here, right? So she says, worthless about Silas. Worthless though he is, he won't be made ashamed to please his brother. Warren says, and this is it, I can't think Cy ever hurt anyone. Boom! Right? Mary's got him. Warren is now, I can't think Cy, uses the nickname Cy, right? I can't think Cy ever hurt anyone. So Warren values not hurting people. And when Mary gets that out of him, Warren realizes it's clear Warren is not going to hurt Cy now that Silas is back. And of course, Mary just jumps at her at this moment. Nobody hurt my heart the way he lay and rolled his old head on that sharp-edged chair back. He wouldn't let me put him on the lounge. You must go in. So she's achieved it here. She softened Warren up, and now she's got to send him in there before he hardens again. She's got to send him in there knowing he'll be nice to Silas. This is the moment she worked for. He wouldn't let me put him in the lounge. You must go in and see what you can do. I made the bed up for him there tonight. She doesn't reveal that until now. You'll be surprised at him, how much he's broken. His working days are done, I'm sure of it. So go in, go, go, go. And Warren, he's going to stay there and continue to defend Silas. And now at the beginning of the poem, he's saying, that guy's old, there's no work left in him. Warren says, I'd not be in a hurry to say that. I haven't been. Okay, so she's like, now don't stand here and start talking Silas up. I haven't been. Go, look, see for yourself. She knows she's made her point successfully. She's gotten through to him. She's changed his heart and mind. And now she wants him inside. But Warren, please remember how it is. He's come to help you ditch the meadow. He has a plan. You mustn't laugh at him. He may not speak of it, and then he may. I will sit here and see if that small sailing cloud will hit or miss the moon. She's just going to look to the heavens. It hit the moon. Then there were three there, making a dim row. The moon, the little silver cloud, and she. She's become sort of this cosmic figure, right? She's on par with the cloud and the moon. Warren returned too soon, it seemed to her, slipped to her side, caught up her hand and waited. Warren, she questioned. Dead, was all he answered. All right, so, this poem has a sad ending. Silas dies, but Silas was going to die anyway. And it would have been nice for Warren to be able to talk to him. But at least Mary softened Warren up. She was successful. Warren could have gone in there and started yelling at Silas when he was dead or sick and dying, and he doesn't do that. She softens Warren up. It's still sad that they didn't have a chance to talk, but at least his heart was changed by his loving wife. She knew that was in Warren, and she went into him and she found that softness. So what is this poem summary of the plot, if you will? It's a wife preparing her husband to talk to someone who the husband has a little resentment towards, softening him, a wife taking charge for her husband's own good, right? She's doing this for both of these men. She's craftily and lovingly taking her values of self-respect, right? She wants Silas to maintain his self-respect. Her values of concern for others, right? And she says Silas had that as well. So Mary's values, concern for others. She also is concerned, self-respect is important to her. She doesn't want Warren to lose his by being mad at Silas. Of course, Warren's values are loyalty, and Silas, well, not always a loyal hired man. And Warren values quality work, and she knows that. So she gets Warren shifted away from Silas's somewhat disloyalty, and she gets him thinking about what a great worker he was. So all good values, right? Loyalty, hard work, quality work, self-respect, concern for others. Those are four great values. And the two of them, that's maybe why they're such a great couple, because they have these, each of them has two marvelous values. But I really love this poem. Number one, it brings me back to my father talking about the farm he grew up on. He was born in 1923. They had a hired man. He used to talk about the room in the house, which was later our bathroom. Of course, they had an outhouse when my father was a kid, but the bathroom room was where the hired man slept. And they ate meals with the hired man. The hired man really was a part of, in many ways, a part of the family. And this poem really kind of gets at that. And this is where Silas has come home to die. And we have this marvelous woman, Mary, who prevents Warren from saying and doing something that he'll regret. And even though Silas is dead at the end, she has softened Warren. She's prepared Warren to properly mourn Silas. So it's really a sad, touching, marvelous poem that Robert Frost has written here. And I enjoy talking about it and teaching it every year and thinking about it even more often than that. So there you have it, Robert Frost's Death of the Hired Man.